studying chapter 24, subject matter, worshipping the Govardhana hill. Lord Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma, while educated, the Brahmins were too much engaged in the process of Vedic sacrifices. He also saw that the cowherdsmen were preparing for performing similar sacrifice in order to pacify Indra, the king of heaven, who is responsible for supplying water. As stated in the Caitanya-caritāmṛta, that a devotee of Krishna has strong and firm faith in the understanding that simply being engaged in Krishna consciousness and in his transcendental loving service, one is freed from all other obligations. Namely, a pure devotee of Lord Kṛṣṇa hasn't got to perform any ritualistic functions as enjoined in the Vedas, nor he is required to worship any other demigod. Being a devotee of Lord Kṛṣṇa, one is supposed to be born as having had performed all kinds of Vedic rituals and all kinds of worship to the demigod. It is not that by performing the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies and worshipping the demigods, one develops devotional service of Krishna, but it is a fact that one who is engaged fully in the service of the Lord, it is to be supposed that he has had already finished such Vedic injunctions. And in order to stop all such activities by his devotees, he wanted to establish it firmly during his presence in Vrindavan. While the cowherdsmen were preparing for the Indra sacrifice, Kṛṣṇa knew everything because his omniscient personality of Godhead is still, as a matter of etiquette, he began to inquire with great honor and submissiveness from elderly personalities like Maharaj Nanda and others. Kṛṣṇa inquired from his father, my dear father, what is this arrangement is going on for performing great sacrifices? What is the result of such sacrifice, and for whom it is meant for, and how it is performed? Will you kindly let me know? I am very much anxious to know this procedure, and you will therefore explain to me the purpose of this sacrifice you are now preparing. Upon this inquiry, Kṛṣṇa's father, Nanda Maharaj, remained silent, thinking that his young boy would not be able to understand the intricacies of performing yajnas. But Kṛṣṇa still continued to persist upon him. My dear father, those who are liver and saintly, for them there is no secrecy. They do not think anyone as friend or enemy or neutral, but they are always open to everyone. And still, those who are not so much liver, for them, nothing should be secrecy for the family members and friends, although secrecy is maintained for the persons who are inimical. Therefore, you cannot keep anything secret for me. All persons are engaged in fruitive activities. Some of them know what is such fruitive activity and what is the result of it, and some of them execute such activities without knowing what is the purpose and what is the result of such activity. But a person who does such activities with full knowledge, they get the full result of it. and one who performs without knowing purpose does not get such perfect result. Therefore, you will please let me know that the arrangement of sacrifice which you are going to perform, is it according to the Vedic injunctions, or it is simply a popular ceremony? Kindly therefore let me know in details about the sacrifice. On hearing this inquiry from Kṛṣṇa, Nanda Maharaj replied, "My dear boy, this ceremonial performance is more or less traditional, because rainfall is due to the mercy of King Indra. The clouds are his representative, and water is so important for the living condition of us that we must show some gratitude to the controller of this rainfall, Maharaj Indra. We are arranging therefore to pacify King Indra, because he very kindly sends us the cloud, and the clouds pour down sufficient quantity of rain for successful agricultural activities. Water is very important. Without rainfall, we cannot improve our agricultural activities, and without sufficient production of grains, we cannot live. Therefore, rainfall is the cause of successfully carrying out religious ceremony, economic development, and ultimately liberation. Therefore, we should not give up this traditional ceremonial function, rather one who gives it up either being influenced by lust or greediness or being afraid of, it does not look very well for him. Next, upon this, Kṛṣṇa, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, replied his father as follows in the presence of all the elderly cowherdsmen of Vrindavan. He spoke in such a way as the heavenly King Indra may be very much angry. The purpose of stopping Indra's sacrifice, or the sacrifice performed to please Indra by Lord Kṛṣṇa, was twofold. The first purpose is that Lord Kṛṣṇa, as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, that there is no need of worshipping the demigods for any material advancement, because all such results derived from such activities of worshipping the demigods are simply temporary, and those who are less intelligent, they are interested with temporary results. Another point is that whatever temporary results we derive by worshipping the demigods, that is also under the permission of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated that Mayaiva Bhitan Hitan. This means whatever benefit is supposed to be derived from the demigods, they are also ordered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, without the permission of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, nobody can bestow any benefit upon others. But sometimes the demigods become puffed up by the influence of material nature, thinking themselves as all in all, and trying to forget the supremacy of the personality of Godhead. The Srimad Bhagavatam, in connection with stopping the sacrifice for pleasing Indra, is clearly stated that Kṛṣṇa wanted to King Indra very angry. Kṛṣṇa's advent was especially meant for annihilation of the demons and protection of the devotee. Indra is certainly not a demon. He is also a devotee. But because he was puffed up, Krishna wanted to give him some lesson. In that way, first of all, he tried to pose his anger by stopping the sacrifice which were arranged for satisfying him by the elderly members of cowherd spread in Vrindavan. With this purpose within himself, Krishna began to talk in such a manner, in such a way, as if he was atheistic, supporting the philosophy of karma mimamsa. The advocates of this type of philosophy do not accept the supreme authority of the personality of Godhead, but they put forward the argument that if anyone works nicely, the result out of that is sure to come. In other words, these philosophers' opinion is that even there is some God who gives us the result of our creative activities, there is no need of worshipping such God, because without working we cannot bestow upon us any good result. Therefore, instead of worshipping any demigod or God, people should give attention to their own duties and good result will surely come. Lord Kṛṣṇa began to speak to his father on these principles of philosophy as follows. Dear Father, I don't think you require to worship any demigod for successful performance of your agricultural activity. Every living being is born according to his past karma, and he goes away simply taking the result of his present karma. Every living entity is born in different types or species of life according to his past activities, and similarly he gets next birth according to the activities of this life. Therefore, different grades of material happiness and distress, comforts of life, disadvantages of life are all different results of different kinds of activities, either in the past life or in this life. Because all living entities enjoy or suffer as the result of his karma. Maharaj Nanda and other elderly members put forward the arguments to Krishna that without satisfying the predominating God, simple by material activities, nobody can derive any good result. And this is actually the fact. For example, it is sometimes found that a diseased person, in spite of first-class medical help, treatment by first-class physician, succumbs to death. Therefore, it is concluded that first-class medical treatment or attendance of a first-class physician is not only the cause of curing a patient, but there must be hand of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to cure the patient. There are many other such examples, just like father and mother taking care of children is not the cause of the comfort of the children. Sometimes it is found that in spite of taking all cares by the parents, the children go bad or succumb to death. Therefore, actually, material causes are not sufficient to get any result. There must be the sanction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nanda Maharaj therefore advocated that in order to get good result of our agricultural activities, we must satisfy Indra, the superintending deity of rain supply. Lord Kṛṣṇa nullified this argument and said that the demigods give results only to the persons who had executed the prescribed duties. But the demigod cannot give any good result to the person who had not executed the prescribed duties. Therefore, demigods are dependent on the execution of duties. He is not absolute in awarding good result to anyone. The demigods being dependent on the execution of good duties, we should take care. I think therefore, my dear father, that there is no necessity of worshipping the demigod Indra. Also we can see that one becomes busy according to the natural tendency of his work. According to that natural tendency of work, all living entities, either human being or demigods, achieve respective results. On account of executing such different types of work, all living entities have achieved higher or lower grades of bodies, and they create enemy, friends or neutral parties on account of their different types of work only. As such, one should be careful in discharging duties according to his natural instinct without diverting attention to the worship of various types of demigods. The demigods will be satisfied by proper execution of our duties, so there is no need of worshipping the demigods. Better let us perform our prescribed duties very nicely. Actually, one cannot be very much happy without executing his proper prescribed duties. One who does not therefore properly discharge his prescribed duties is compared with the woman who is not very chaste, is not very faithful to her husband. Proper prescribed duties of the Brahmins are to engage themselves in the studies of the Vedas. The proper duties of the royal order, the Kshatriyas, are engagement in the matter of protecting the citizens. Similarly, the proper duties of the Vaishya community is to take to agriculture, trade, and protection of the cows. The proper duties of the Sudras are to serve the higher classes, namely the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, and the Vaishyas. So far we are concerned, we belong to the Vaishya community, and our discharge our proper duty is to work on agriculture or to trade with the agricultural produce, or to give protection to the cows, or we can take to the fourth business also, banking. This connection, Kṛṣṇa identified himself to the Vaishya community because Nanda Maharaj had so many cows to protect, and Kṛṣṇa was taking care of them. And he enumerated 4 kinds of business engagement by the Vaishya community, namely agriculture, trade, protection of the cows, or banking. Although the Vaishyas can take to any of the occupation, as above mentioned, cowherdsmen in Vrindavan were engaged particularly in the protection of cows. Kṛṣṇa's father explained to his father that this cosmic manifestation is going on under the influence of 3 modes of material nature, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance. These 3 modes of material nature are the causes of creation, maintenance, and destruction. The cloud is caused by the action of force of passion. Therefore, it is the modes of passion which causes rainfall. After the rainfall, the living entities derive the result of it or success in what Indra has got to do in this affair. Even if you do not please Indra, what he can do? We do not derive any special benefit from Indra, because even if he is there, he pours water on the ocean also, where there is no need of water. As he is pouring water on the ocean and sea, where there is no need of water, similarly, he is pouring water on the land also. It does not depend on our worshipping him particularly. As far as we are concerned, we do not go to any other city or village or any other foreign country. We have no palatial building in the cities. We are satisfied living in this forest of Vrindavan. So our specific relationship is with this Govardhana hill and Vrindavan forest, nothing more. I therefore request you, my dear father, that you may begin some sacrifice which will satisfy the local brāhmaṇas and the Govardhana hill, and we have nothing to do with Indra. On hearing this statement of Kṛṣṇa, Nanda Maharaj replied, my dear boy, as you are asking, I shall also arrange for a separate sacrifice for the local brāhmaṇas and Govardhana hill. For the present, let me execute this sacrifice known as Indra Yajna. On this, Kṛṣṇa replied, my dear father, don't delay. The sacrifice you propose to do for Govardhana and the local brāhmaṇas will take much time. Better the arrangement you have already done for sacrificing Indra Yajna. All these paraphernalia may be engaged immediately for satisfying Govardhana hill and the local brāhmaṇas. On this, other elderly cowherdsman inquired from him how Kṛṣṇa wanted to perform this yajna. Then Kṛṣṇa gave them direction as follows. Kṛṣṇa said that you prepare very, very nice foodstuff of all descriptions from the grains and ghee collected in connection with Indra Yajna. First of all, you prepare rice, dal, and then halwa, pakodi, puri, and all kinds of milk preparation like sweet rice, rabri, sweet balls, sandesh, rasgulla, laddu, and invite all the learned brāhmaṇas who can chant the Vedic hymns and offer oblations to the fire. All these learned brāhmaṇas may be called and given in charity all kinds of grains, and decorate all the cows very nicely and feed them well. And after performing this, give in charity money to the brāhmaṇas. So far, the lower animals are concerned, as the dogs are the lower grade of people in the society, just like the chandalas or the fifth grade population who are considered as untouchable. They also may be given a prasadam sumptuously. And after giving nice grasses to the cows, this sacrifice known as Govardhana Puja may be begun immediately. This sacrifice known as Govardhana Puja will very much satisfy me. That's why by this statement, Lord Kṛṣṇa practically described the whole village economic problems, specifically by the Vaishya community. In the human society, all communities, namely the Brahmins, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, the Shudras, and the Chandalas, as well as the animals like cows, dogs, goats, etc. Everyone has his part to play in cooperation for total benefit of the whole society, which includes not only the animate objects, but also inanimate objects like the hills and the land. The Vaishya community specifically meant for economic improvement of the society by producing grains, by giving protection to the cows, by transporting foodstuff that they are needed, and by banking finances to the traders and the agriculturists. We also stressed as much production of foodstuff, financial element by banking, increase of trade and commerce are required. Similarly, cow protection is also one of the items of economic advancement of the society. Another hint we get from the statement that the cats and dogs, which have become at the present moment so much important animals, although they are not to be neglected, cow protection is very, very important than giving protection to the cats and dogs. Another hint we get from the statement that the chandalas or the untouchable population in the society, they are also not neglected by the higher class of men. It is hinted herein also that the lower animals like cats and dogs and lower class of men like the chandalas may not be neglected, or they should be given protection as much as they require. But that does not mean they are equal to the important animals like cows or important men like the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, or the Sudras. Everyone is important, but some of them are directly responsible for advancements of human society, and some of them are indirectly responsible for the advancements of the society. But when there is Krishna consciousness movement, everyone is taken care of for total benefit. Next verse, the sacrifice known as Govardhana Puja is one of the items of Krishna consciousness movement. Lord Caitanya has recommended that as much as Krishna is worshipable, similarly his land, Vrindavan and Govardhana hill are also worshipable. To confirm this statement of Lord Caitanya, Lord Kṛṣṇa said that this Govardhana Puja is as good as worshipping him. As such, from that day, the Govardhana Puja is going on still, and it is known as Annakut ceremony. In this Annakut ceremony, in all the temples of Vrindavan or outside Vrindavan, huge quantity of foodstuff are prepared and they are distributed to the general population very, very sumptuously. Sometimes such foodstuffs are thrown to the crowd of people and they enjoy collecting it from the ground. In this instance, we can understand that prasadam is offered to Krishna never becomes polluted or contaminated. Even they are thrown on the ground and people collect them and eat them with great satisfaction. In this way, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kṛṣṇa, advised the elderly cow herdsman to stop the Indra Yagya and begin Govardhana Puja to chastise King Indra, who was very much puffed up at that time, as being the supreme controller of the heavenly planets. Honest, simple, and elderly cow herdsman, headed by Nanda Maharaj, accepted Krishna's proposal and executed everything in detail as advised by Lord Kṛṣṇa for Govardhana worship and circumambulation of the hill. Following this inauguration of Govardhana Puja, people still in Vrindavan assemble near the Govardhana hill on this day and offer a worship and circumambulate the hill, dressing themselves very nicely and taking their cows all around. Thus, according to the instruction of Lord Kṛṣṇa, Nanda Maharaj and other elderly cowherdsmen called learned brāhmaṇas and began to worship Govardhana hill by chanting Vedic hymns, offering prasadam as described above. After this offering of prasadam, all the inhabitants of Vrindavan assembled together and they decorated their cows, gave them nice grass, and keeping them forward, they began to circumambulate the Govardhana hill. So far, the gopis are concerned. They also dressed themselves very luxuriantly and sat on their full-driven carts, began to chant the glories of Krishna's pastime. And all the Brahmins who assembled there to act as priests for Govardhana Puja, they offered their blessings to cowherds, men, and their wives, the gopis. When everything was complete, Krishna assumed a great transcendental form and declared to the inhabitants of Vrindavan that he was himself the Govardhana hill, to convince the devotees that Govardhana hill and Krishna himself are identical. Thus declaring, Krishna began to eat all the foodstuff offered there. This identification of Krishna and the Govardhana hill is still honored, and great devotees take flocks from the Govardhana hill and worship it exactly like the deity of Krishna in the temples. Followers of Krishna consciousness movement may therefore collect small rock pebble from Govardhana hill and worship at home, as good as the deity worship at home. The form of Krishna who began to eat the offerings separately constituted, and Krishna, along with other inhabitants of Vrindavan, began to offer their obeisances to the deity as well as the Govardhana hill. In offering obeisances to the huge form of Krishna himself and Govardhana hill, Krishna declared, just see how Govardhana hill has assumed this huge form and is favoring us by accepting all the offerings given by us. Krishna also declared in that meeting that anyone who would neglect this worship of Govardhana Puja as I am personally conducting, such person will not be happy. There are many snakes in the Govardhana hill, and persons who are neglecting this prescribed duty of Govardhana Puja will be bitten by these snakes, and they will be killed that way. Therefore, in order to observe the auspicity of the cows and themselves, all people of Vrindavan and near Govardhana must worship the hill as prescribed by me. This way, after performing the Govardhana Puja sacrifice, all the inhabitants of Vrindavan followed the instruction of Kṛṣṇa, the son of Vasudeva, and thus returned to their respective homes. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta